welcome to Make Your Passion Pay. I'm Luann Beekler, creator of the Make Your Passion Pay Playbook, your host and guide on this exciting journey to building joyful and successful work environments. Known as the Little Spark, I've helped countless individuals and businesses ignite their potential through transformational coaching, creating thriving businesses and joyful workplaces. I have experienced the challenges of leaving toxic workplaces and building something better. I bring firsthand wisdom to help you align your work with your values. With insights drawn from working alongside world-renowned leaders and a deep passion for community and connection, I'm here to show you how to lead with joy and purpose. Let's dive into today's episode and start making your passion pay. Welcome to another episode of the Make Your Passion Pay podcast. I am here today with Carl Pradelli from NatureCity.com, and I am so excited to have him with us today. Here on the podcast, we like to share people's stories about how they got started in business, how their core values are a part of their business, and some of the other 6 C's of making your passion pay. And I know one for Carl is caring. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you so much. You remembered my C word. Thank you.
I did. And every time I do this, I find more C words that align with making your passion pay. So
Absolutely.
Appreciate that. You know, we say that which you focus on grows stronger in your life. And by the very fact that I've shifted to this focus of a framework around 6 C's, yeah, now I see more C's in the world everywhere. And I go, oh yeah, there's another one.
Well, it's a thrill to be with you. Thank you, Luann. Great to be here.
Yeah. So you're co-founder of NatureCity. Tell us about NatureCity.
Yeah, so my wife and I founded NatureCity about 22 years ago. You know, I didn't really become an entrepreneur until I was in my mid-30s. I actually spent my first dozen years of my professional career after college in a totally different world. It was the kind of investment banking, private equity world. And I always just had this bug where I wanted to be an owner of a business more than like a service provider, if you will. Not that there's anything wrong with that, just always had that bug. And I just reached a point, Luann, where it was kind of like a now or never type of thing. And we decided to give it a shot. And, as the story goes, and the reason we chose nutritional supplements, which is what we principally sell, is, we were just frustrated consumers of these products ourselves. We found the shopping experience horrible, intimidating. You weren't sure who to trust, what to believe, what to buy, where to go for good information. So we just really kind of wrote down the things that bothered us the most and developed what really are we call it our 4 founding principles, which really drive around. It has to start product. I mean, if you're we've been lucky to have been in business for now, 24 years. It's really hard to sustain a business if you don't have a good product, right? That's where it's got to start. You can fool people once, twice, but to sustain yourself, you really need good product. I think you might agree with that.
Absolutely.
Being the business we're in, it was really important to us to have ingredient transparency and informed customers, right? We want our customers to really be knowledgeable about what they're putting in their body. And the last 2 really were built around service. We want to make service a competitive advantage. And of course, value, right? Even if a product is great, if no one can afford it, that doesn't help. So it has to be a product that people can help people, but they also can afford to take on an ongoing basis. So those are kind of how we thought about the business at the start. And I think it's really important to have those kind of principles or values because, running a business is so tough and probably tougher now than it's ever been. And it's easy to get off track and do some things that aren't the right things to do. And if you would just go back to what your values are, what your principles are, usually those tough decisions become a lot easier to make. And we found that out many, many times.
Yeah, really true, right? I tell people all the time, your core values become the foundation on which everything else is created. They become a foundation on communication within the company. They empower your team members to take action in alignment with that.
Mhm.
And studies show that 80% of CEOs have lost touch with their core values because the world teaches them only to focus on the bottom line. And yet that's not what they're passionate about. They're passionate about typically their products or the service that they're providing to people and want to do good in the world.
Sure.
And then the societal pressure just to make money ends up kind of caving in on them sometimes. So I love that. And I want to point out to our audience too that what Carl's calling his brand promise, if you go to his website, or his core principles, same language as core values. Okay. So we're talking the same thing, and lots of people use those interchangeably. And I guess the point is, if you don't know what yours are, well, then look me up.
No, absolutely. And you're so right. It's I think a lot of people start off with good intentions and they just get consumed by those challenges of running their business and dealing with the day to day, and you forget. And you know the old saying, you're so busy working in your business, you can't focus on your business. And I think
Yeah.
that's what kind of happens, where people just get consumed and lose sight of why they even started. But one thing I always say, try to advise people who are starting out, especially, it's, to make your passion pay, as someone once said, it's really got to be a passion. Okay. It's
True.
really got to be a passion. If you're just doing this to make a quick buck, may happen if you're lucky, or just have just great idea, but it's really this making having a sustainable successful company is going to be one of the hardest things you ever do in your life. And to get through the ups and downs, it really has to be a passion where, for instance, you care about what you're doing, you care about your customers, and it just helps you get up in the morning and get to work, even on days that aren't so fun. And those days are going to happen to you. So,
Which is again another reason why they're so important, because we will go through struggles, we will go through stressful times. That all is going to happen. The world happens. But when you can base back into your core values and ground in that and who we are, it's easier to persevere, or rather, the big word people are using these days is resilience.
absolutely.
Gives you
Absolutely.
resilience when you really care and you're passionate about what you're doing. If you're just pushing out product, like the old assembly line, often that's just not good enough anymore today.
No, it's not. Because, I mean, if you're just looking at, spreadsheets with numbers, and it's so easy to lay out a business plan and a financial plan on spreadsheets, then reality kicks in, right? And it's all gone. So, again, your passion can't just be about an opportunity to make a lot of money. I love making money. It's a great thing, but if making money is the passion of the business, you probably don't have the right business, I would say.
Right.
I'll tell you, interesting story you might appreciate about this. Very successful college football coach, Lou Holtz, also went on to become an ESPN commentator for many years. Lou was successful at every coaching position he ever took, except for one. And he was asked one time, why do you think that? And it was with the NFL New York Jets. And he was asked, why do you think you failed there? And he said, simply, I took the job for the wrong reasons. Okay. Everything was wrong about that job for me in that position. I didn't want the job really, but they overwhelmed me with money. And I just took the job because of the money. And really, he ended up failing. And of course, he next position, he took the job for the right reasons, and he wanted to become a Hall of Fame coach. But just a little example that even the best of us can get what's the right one? Sucked in. Yeah, sucked in by financial gains on the short term. So just have to be careful.
Yeah. So, yeah, it would appear that our world lives off the currency of cash, but I believe the currency is really community and
Mhm.
connection to one another. And here's another C word, folks, contribution. We all want to make a contribution. And when you're really focused on caring about your customers, like you are, Carl, and making sure you have all natural, pure products to help them sort through the millions of supplement opportunities that are out there, I think that's really powerful.
No, it is. And, and you're so right. I tell you, the other thing that gets me through challenging days sometimes is just hearing the stories of customers and how you really change their lives in some cases. I mean, powerful, powerful stuff. I mean, people don't write letters as much as they used to these days, unfortunately. But used to get like these 4-page letters. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this, from the person took the time, A, to write this letter and how we have impacted their lives. And like, wow, that's pretty amazing, right? And so whatever issue you have in that day, that kind of goes away, right? So, but it's really important. It gets back to that caring, compassion, of and as you said, contribute something to the rest of us, and you feel pretty good about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that is really the bottom line if people look at it, is we ultimately all want to feel like we made a contribution and we served our fellow man in some way, right? And for you, it's in the supplement and helping people to live a healthier life when other answers aren't working for them.
Exactly, and look, one of my passions, if you will, um, about my business is really helping people choose good quality products that can actually help them, and on the other side of the coin, avoid what I call fraudulent or poor quality products. Okay, because I've been there. It's really hard. It's really, really hard to do that. So a lot of what I do on my own podcast, the Nature City podcast, and what I do in uh, my emails and stuff like that is just try to help people, even if they don't want to buy from Nature City, that's totally fine. If they don't want to, how to at least find a good product and that can help you. And,
So,
you know,
Carl, you
yeah.
just mentioned your podcast.
Mhm.
And so, for my listeners who are on that health journey and might want to look into your products and learn more from you about how to discern the right products to use, where do they find your podcast?
So on YouTube, I think you can go to Nature City Supplements is where you can find us. There's also links from our website, naturecity.com. We're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you prefer to listen to your podcasts. And what I try to do, I try to keep it pretty tight, 8, 9 minutes on a particular topic. In most cases, sometimes if I'm doing an interview like this, we'll go 30 to 60 minutes. But it's really it's just about education and helping you make good decisions in your life and for your family and other and loved ones too, because a lot of our customers are buying products for not only themselves but for others that are in their lives. So look, I want all my customers to know what they're putting in their body, okay, and why, and the nuances of what we're doing to help give them the best chance at success and helping shift the odds in their favor of extending their not only lifespan but their health span, right? That's something you're going to hear more and more about. It's the quality of life. It's not just a quality of living. It's not just how long you're going to live and hanging around, sitting in a chair. It's about being active and enjoying what you do. And that's really what we try to do. And if you don't not to listening to podcasts, although you're listening to this one, so just one more, Nature City. No, you can also sign up for our email list, and we provide a lot of content by email too. So
Yeah, and we'll have links to the website and the podcast in the show notes for everybody to refer back to as well. So Carl, tell us anything, a story, if you will, of something perhaps that you were struggling with and the core values helped to see you through.
um, yes. So a couple of years ago, actually, I think it was pre-pandemic, so maybe it was like 18, 19. We had a really tough decision in that our best-selling product the main ingredient did not live up to the quality specifications we desire and mandate.
Mm.
Okay. This had the potential to be a financial disaster for us because we were going to be at our best selling product now, probably for at least 2 months. And, you have to look back to your principles. Am I in this for the long game or that short term money thing? And the truth is, Luann, we probably lost a few customers, right? Because people are like, oh, I'm not waiting 2 months. I'm going to go try buy something else. But I'd say the vast majority, I'd say 95% majority said, fine, we appreciate that you're looking out for us. You got our back. And we'll just wait and we'll be back. I mean, we'll try something else of yours in the meantime or whatever. But that was a tough, email and just communication to make. It's like, look, sorry, we can't fulfill your order for 2 months. But
Right.
that was a good,
Because
yeah.
because we were waiting on the right quality of ingredient to put in the product.
Yeah, when it's just that's the one thing I say we're never going to compromise on quality and put a cheap substitute or something that's subpar in the product that, hey, you're ingesting this, right? Again, we have the saying that if we won't take it, we don't make it. Okay. We're
I
not going
love
to
that.
give, yeah, we're not going to give something to your family. It won't give to ours. And, it's just one of those things where like, no, this is not good enough. We can't do it. And, it was a tough day in the office because everyone's like, "Oh my God, we're gonna do." But that's where it's also really important to have very strong relationships with your partners, your vendors, and stuff like that, and just you know, so they're gonna hang with you and just let take a little longer to pay them and that type
Sure.
of thing because you can't, you gotta be in this for the long game. You gotta do, it's never the wrong time to do the right thing, we say, right? Never the wrong time to do the right thing. And the
Okay.
right thing was, no, we got to get a new batch of raw material and make our product then. So and that was probably, it's a good example of how we just, it was tough financially, but we just said no, we
But
can't do
stand
this.
in your principles of quality products and transparency by sharing with your clients what was going on. And I think to me, transparency loans itself to trust. Like if you're going to
Absolutely.
be transparent about what you're doing in your company with me, then I'm going to trust you more deeply than I would someone else who's running in circles, right? Or avoiding my questions or what have you.
No, 100%. I mean, that's why we're always accessible, always, you can always reach us 24/7. If someone can't answer the question who, is speaking to you, I'll get involved. Beth gets involved, and that question is going to be answered one way or the other. So, and by the way, I learn a lot from those questions, right? It's
Sure.
really valuable to my business. I mean, someone said, I can't remember who it was, your greatest learning comes from your unhappiest customers. And
Mm.
might have been Bill Gates, but he seems to be having a tough day for other reasons today. Um, but no, I mean it's really true. I mean, you can't. Everyone wants to hear the great things about how great you are and how good your product is, but to improve, you got to know what people don't like. So that's important too.
This is the opportunity. So I have a new buzz for 2026 of considering the word opportunity instead of obligation.
Mm,
And then one might assign it's my obligation to uh, put these qualities into my products. But no, it's an opportunity to serve others. It's less heavy than an obligation. You know what I mean? Than an obligation. Like it's our opportunity to serve others. It's our opportunity to be transparent when something like that happens. And again, I think that lends itself towards building trust. And in our teams too, right? In our teams.
well, there's no question about it. I mean, look, they're going to be a reflection of you, and if they see you make a choice that they wouldn't be comfortable with, yeah, it's gonna impact them and how they conduct themselves, right? So, you got to be consistent. You got to be consistent. You can't just be
Other C
consistent.
word.
No C word. There you go. Truck that one up. I'm gonna keep going here. Give me another 5 minutes. I'll get you. No.
Oh,
No,
there's so
but look,
many.
you
But
can't
yeah,
just be consistent when it's. Oh, here you go. You're gonna love this one. You can't just be consistent when it's convenient for you to be consistent. So how's that?
oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And here's another tip for our listeners is that you're turning some of these thoughts into phrases. Like if we don't take it, we don't make it, right? We're not going to make it if we unless we would take it.
Yep.
And those little mantras, I really like core principles to be written in phrases rather than one word or long descriptive sentences. Because if we own the essence of that phrase and everybody can memorize that phrase, it becomes an automatic part. And I was just at a conference, and sometimes you overuse them and it seems silly in a company, but the fact of the matter is, it helps ingrain it in everything that we do. Our subconscious is making snap decisions for us, right? And so we're reprogramming it with that language of our values in our company, so we make good decisions in every moment of every day.
It can literally make a company. I mean, I'll give you an example. I think we're both old enough to remember when Federal Express first started. You remember their tagline, right? When it absolutely positively has to be there overnight. I mean, that was really had to be a mentality of everybody in the process, right? Look, it's got to be there. And that was it. And really, I think kind of not only became important from a consumer point of view, but also for the people making it happen and executing every day. So I agree 100%.
Awesome. What is one of your favorite customer success stories?
Oh, I think you're gonna love this one. So we had a customer who ended up living well into her 90s, and she passed away a few years ago, and unfortunately, but when she was in her 80s, she started taking our one of our joint products. And what she was really struggling with, she was very much her passion in life was like quilting and knitting,
Mm.
that type of thing. And she just couldn't move her hands and fingers, anymore to really be able to do that. So, with the help of our product, she calls us and says, "Hey, I'm back to my passion of quilting and doing what I love to do." But she didn't stop there. A month or so later, we get this gigantic box coming from Hawaii. She lived in Hawaii. Like, geez, what is this? So she made like this incredible blanket for us. Just this most beautiful thing it's just my wife who was very much, so she goes, this must have taken her like a month to make it or something like that. But, she wanted to show us what we did for her. And
Oh,
she
wow.
sent us this gift. And so, look, of course, we call her to thank her, but I said, that's not enough. We got to do something else here. So we got everybody in the company. We're outside. We held it up and we took a picture and we sent it to her, and my goodness, she was, to say she's over the moon was an understatement. She just was so excited about that. And when she passed away, I think it was her daughter, one of her family members, called us just to let us know. And I don't want to get emotional here, but she said she loved that photo so much she kept it by her bed right till she died, the day she died. So, I mean, yeah, that's just a story that always sticks with me that, wow, we really had that impact on this person's life. And she just,
That's a
she let
beautiful
us know.
story.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
a beautiful story. Carl,
yeah.
how big is your company? How many team members do you have?
So, we restructured a little bit to where we don't do as many things in house as we used to. As I'll be 60 this year, my wife's right there with me. Um, we used to do our own warehousing fulfillment, and we had our own call center and mail shop, and we did so many different things. So now we actually are under 10 employees, and we do our fulfillment not too far away from where you are in South Dakota, although we'll ship our Florida customers will get packages from here. So we used to be, for most of our existence, we were like 20-ish employees. But it was just tough to manage, and really we decided we got to focus on what we are. We're a supplement company. We're not a fulfillment company. We're not a mail shop. We're not a a call center or whatever. So we have a little bit of a reduced in-house staff as a result. But you know, and it's, by the way, that's been a big challenge is just finding the right partners. That's another thing that's so critical to the success is find the same right partners who can execute your principles, right? Big
Right.
challenge. Big challenge, really is. And yeah, we had a, as they said, my wife says, what she says, kiss a few frogs before we found the prince or whatever. So,
Yeah, we women, we know that line.
yeah, yeah. So, yeah, that's what we're
That's right.
currently.
I asked about size because of that level of connection that you had to one of your customers as the CEO of the company. You don't see that all the time. And so I was like, my listeners need to know the size. And you're really about the prime size for the companies that I typically work with on core values.
Yeah.
I say it's usually less than 50 employees, but honestly, I find myself more in that sweet spot of 25 or less employees and really building culture in those organizations around their core values is my specialty. So I
Oh,
appreciate the work that you're doing there and love the story from your customer.
yeah, no, that was a special one. But that's, like I said, that's really what keeps you going when days are tough. You're making an impact, and these are people you're never going to meet in person. And, you know, sometimes I say, I probably walk by some of my customers in the airport. We don't even know each other, right? But, you're helping them with their lives and that, that's exciting. It really is.
Yeah, it really is. And again, I think that's what most people want to be doing. So that's why some people get disconnected and struggle even more, you know? One of the other C's is community. We have to live in community. And really what you're building is a community around you that values the same things you do, Carl. And I think that
Yeah.
is also a tool to attracting the right team members on your team and the right partners is to bring out those core values and say, this is what we stand for. Can you stand with us?
Yeah, and we've been fortunate, Luann, as a result of that. I mean, our people have been with us forever. We don't turnover is not even a thing, because by the way, not only we got to treat our customers right, you got to treat your employees right too. And what's the was it Simon Sinek? Was it
Yeah.
leaders eat last? I think. And I've always taken that position that I'm going to put my customers, my employees ahead of me, and
There you go.
it's just another important thing to live by,
Another
I think.
great principle, even though it's not in writing.
Although, yeah, no, I
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
exactly, right? But
But that's the truth, right? We want our customers to love us. So we need to love all over our customers. Oftentimes, it's the employees that are on the front line, not the CEO. So we need to love the employees up, make sure they're healthy and happy in their work so that they take good care of our customers. And we've got a complete cycle of, well, love. I have a
no,
friend.
it's so true. I mean, there nothing happens without your team. Nothing. So
Yeah.
no, we treat them like family. I mean, just like customers are our extended family, and of course our employees are even a closer family. The way we think about them and treat them, and I think they appreciate it.
And that's it. That's the way everyone should build their community. We get a lot of publicity, a lot of information about people building online communities now, there's different groups on social media and things like that, and they building online community of followings, and your company's online, right? You buy your products online, but
Yep.
the greater community that you build and every CEO should think about their clients and their team as a part of their community, if not their family. And if we really serve from that place in our heart of really wanting to take care of and love those individuals, then we can win. And it takes passion to bring us there.
It absolutely takes passion, and again, it's easier if you love what you're doing. I mean, it's Lynn. I mean, you know how it is. I mean, it'd be so much easier. I mean, Beth and I always not only make ourselves successful, but visible too. I mean, that's why we do the podcast and all these other things, is because, we want people to get to know us, and be comfortable with us as people. I always say people don't buy if they don't believe, and they're more likely to buy if it's someone they like, and someone they understand and appreciate. So, I think it's important to be visible out there for people.
You have all kinds of great one-liners, Carl. People don't buy unless they believe. Oh, I love
Yeah.
that.
Well, this is going to be my last podcast I do because I'm all out of materials.
Well, you know what? You can do lots more podcasts. Not everybody listens to mine. And so you can spread those same messages across the world because they're good messages and important messages to new individuals starting a business from ground up like you did. And there's plenty of those coming out of corporations that had that same urge that you did. Like, I feel like I want to be an entrepreneur, and coming out of other institutions and things. And we want to give them confidence to do that, to help them make their passion pay. That's what we're here for. Thanks again for being with us, Carl. Really appreciate it. One last time, the name of the podcast is NatureCity.
Well, it's a NatureCity podcast. You can find us at YouTube at NatureCity Supplements. So please join us and reach out directly if you have any questions.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everybody. Have a great day, and be sure you're making your passions pay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Make Your Passion Pay. If today's episode inspired you, I'd love for you to subscribe, leave a rating, and share your thoughts in a review. Every listener makes a difference in spreading this mission of joy and purpose. Want to take the next step? Share this episode with your friends, colleagues, or anyone looking to build a thriving, values-driven workplace. Together, we can create communities where passion fuels success. Until next time, remember, when you lead with joy, you inspire greatness. Let's keep making your passion pay.